This is an dhufu show. You faced a kind of challenge in the jungle of Central Africa. I would like to make our audiences even hear that challenge you passed through. Forest, in geography, we say the equatorial forest, African Republic, if I'm not mistaken.
Exactly. Well, it was in the African Union in the fight against. So the in the jungle without a vest and a helmet, bare-backed and bare-chested, if there is something like that, and bareheaded, or you go back home. We went inside the jungle. We've been ambushed once and twice. Nobody was killed, I can tell you that, but it was horror, day and night. Where you sleep is inside a tent. Under the tent, they formed some kind of platform to raise the bed.
A little bit,
just a little bit, so that it won't be on the ground, so a snake or a kind of anaconda doesn't come and swallow you next morning. That you'll be found inside the stomach or whatever.
Yeah, python is there.
Yeah, everything is there because, as you've said, that's one of the dense jungles in the world. Dark day and night. And we're in the middle of nowhere. For military strategic purposes, locations are not identified by any means.
No signs of GPS around there, except for the military purpose.
Nobody locates where you are, except those military officials, because this is military strategy anyway. Otherwise, if the enemy can locate you, then you're doomed.
Yep.
So literally, we were non-existent on the map. But we're there. So anyway, all in all, I didn't have sleep for a week, not proper food, because you work during the day. At night you come and whatever passed under your bed.
Sleepless.
It wasn't
nights.
even the bed, but sleepless nights and horrible days. Summarize the story. But we've delivered what we've asked in all of the countries we've been.
There was a high presence of the Lord's Resistance Army in these forests of Nzako in the Central African Republic. They used to kill, rape or abduct children from this particular area. Thanks to the works of the Ugandan Army and the Regional Task Force, that threat has been slashed. The Ugandan Army says if a support can come from troop contributing countries or the African Union, that job can be done in a much better way. Girum, Chala, CGTN, Nzako, in the Central African Republic.
The other thing I want to raise is, I heard that you traveled to many countries in the world. Is that true?
Well, you can tell.
I mean, is that only within the continent of Africa or out of that?
Well, you see, I am the main correspondent for my channel at the African Union as well, and the UN Economic Commission for Africa, apart from the continent's coverage or the region's coverage. So we travel mostly across the African continent, to almost 40 plus of them, and beyond. I am the one who covered the US-Africa Summit when President Obama was in power, in the White House and other places. I am the one who covered the climate change COP.
In Paris or Copenhagen?
No, in Copenhagen and in Warsaw, in Poland. In Poland as well. And many others across the world. The thing is, as a journalist, the stories call you to places.
Traveling by self shares experiences. That's why I raised that issue.
Exactly.
The more you travel, the better you understand the world. Have you ever been to China?
Exactly. I've been to China, to many places in China.
Can you speak Mandarin then?
Ni hao, mo ma chao. You see, this is an everyday question. Sounds like everybody, because you work for a Chinese channel. Everybody thinks you speak Mandarin.
Yeah.
Do you say no? I don't speak Mandarin because the channel is English. I've been to everywhere: Beijing, Chengdu, Guangzhou, Shanghai. You name them, we've been there. China. China is a beautiful country, by the way. They don't brag about it, that's the thing. They're just humble people, reserved, laid back, but then again still delivering.
With their own indigenous culture as well.
Exactly. I mean, the country is intact. Intact with all that prosperity. If you know Dubai, then imagine 300 plus Dubais in one country in China.
In China.
Imagine that. So, I mean, it's a beautiful country, and that's where our international main office is, by the way, in Beijing.
Let me bring you back to Ethiopia. You've visited different parts of Ethiopia, and you've reported especially from the northern part of Ethiopia. Have you ever been to Sofomer Cave and Dreshek Hussein areas?
I have never been to the cave. Why? Good question. Because I'm going to do it soon. Why am I going to do it soon is because with the effort of the government and also the regional administration itself, we are planning to promote that place, not only because it's significant for our country or our region, it's also significant for the rest of the world. That's one of the places that the world needs to know. Ethiopia has, in general, and Oromia in particular, have under-promoted their attractions, and tourism should have brought millions and millions of dollars to the region and the country, but it didn't happen. Take Afar, for example. It looks, when you see the pictures, it looks like it's on the moon.
Chala?
Yes, it looks like it's on the moon. That's, apart from tourism, it could have been used as a movie set for Hollywood. That brings billions of dollars. Imagine the kind of jobs that could be created. So for Sofomer and others, our parks in this region, our historical sites, cultural sites, even the people themselves, profiling Apagadas.
Dressing cultures.
Yes. It says, inside Oromia itself, you can tell hundreds and hundreds of stories which could be used by the rest of the continent or the world as an example, and or even it's a fun thing to see.
In other words, you're telling me that you're ready to work on those parts you
Yeah, yes, I've done it before, but now it's time to also do it for the benefit of the region and the country.
The country.
It is time. It is time. We can't just lay back. The problem now is the channel is one. I'm working 24/7, no rest.
Have you ever watched OBN, an English program, a Oromo program, and a Amharic program you have?
I've always watched the Oromo language broadcasts since even before, since the older times. Anga was one of my favorites. One of my favorites. And even the food anga itself is like, you know, it's a mouth-watering. So it's the same thing.
That's why it was named so.
Exactly. So my dad loved that show, the plays that we used to see on TV, on Oromo language. From that time, all the music of Abito, Alibira, and the others, it's fantastic, you know. Then we've got Satavao.
Yes.
I've watched that as well. You know, that's the birth of another era for Oromo language, and others who also, other languages of the country have also their own major ones. They based on the geographic locations and language and culture, they've done it. And then OBN now, the network, it's quite an achievement, by the way. Because media is a representation and reflection of people, their lives and cultures and everything else, also politics included. I can tell you that I'm very much delighted momentarily where OBN stands to show the real Oromia, the real country itself. Representing stories of everyday human being, showing us the culture of our people, who the true Oromos are, because a strong Oromo is a strong Ethiopia. This is what needs to be understood. A strong Amhara, a strong Tigray, a strong Southerner, or a strong Somali is a strong Ethiopia. So strengthening yourself is strengthening the country. In other words, I'm happy to see this pillar stronger than ever.
What do you recommend then, the OBN, to be stronger on the way that your network rates, for instance?
The medium has to work hard and harder to provide and supply news items which are done based on facts, which are done based on knowledge. Journalists need to use every means available under your disposal to use it to tell that story so that it can be fit. I can give you an example. When I was reporting the Recha celebrations, I had a huge burden. It's not about the 3 minutes that you've seen. It's about you should have the urge inside you that I should not spoil this. This is a culture of hundreds and hundreds of years, thousands and thousands of years. This is the culture of millions of Oromo and Ethiopians. Your representation within 3 minutes is a hard task in the first place.
Selective concepts should be included there.
Exactly. And it should represent at the same time. This is a happening of hours and hours, and bringing it together, never lose the momentum as well. This is why I say a composed journalistic work. If you invest, if you love what you do, and if you have a responsible journalistic attitude towards what you do, combined with all the resources we see here, why can't OBN be the next big thing in the world? Tell me. If we bring all of this together, I think success is inevitably in order,
Wow. We're about to conclude our interview. Girum Chala is a cameraman. Girum Chala is a master of ceremony, an MC. Girum Chala is an actor. Just not forget being cameraman. No, that's not my issue. Girum Chala was an actor on a kind of TV drama I watched, Gamana, yeah, I think. How come that happened?
I would like to thank writer, author Theodorus the guy. He's one of the best writers in the country.
And was born in Adama, by the way.
Yes,
yeah.
Exactly. He's born in Adama. He's one of the finest writers we have in this country, in Amharic. Yeah. He's written a lot, and I've seen that serial every day. But he one morning he calls me, and I never had his number. He says, "Oh, this is Theodorus the guy." Yes. How can I help you, my brother? I thought he's going to tell me, because many people call you and say, "Oh, because we have, we have this event, that event," and they say, "Oh, we don't do this." So it needs to have continental or nationwide significance to be reported. Otherwise, please refer yourselves to local media. That's what I say. So I humbly take the questions, but then again refer them to the right media house. Then he asked me one of the weirdest questions. He said, "I'm writing this character. And I was thinking about you, and I was writing it," he said.
And it's you to be there, to play that character.
And I said, "Is he a journalist?" No. But personality-wise, because me and that writer, we never met before. I have never seen him in person. I don't think he has seen me in person on TV. Yes. He said, "When I imagine you, you are that guy. So I've written it
for you."
For you. And I said, no, I'm not an actor, I'm a journalist. If he was a journalist, then I would try it, but I'm not going to do it. He said, "Please." So to make the very long story short, 3 and 4 weeks he's been calling and asking me, and I said, "You know what?" I said, "Girum, maybe you should try this. Maybe you never know, because some of us..."
You told to the other groom.
Yes, the other. You see, self-discussion is important. You see, if you win here,
the winner goes.
I have a principle of thinking. Say, I look inside out than outside in. So I have to convince me, even with the way I do stories, I have to. It should convince me first before I try to convince others. So I look inside out than outside in. So I spoke with myself and I said, okay, maybe this is a door to open an international opportunity or whatever it is. I tried it, and I am still humbled to hear the comments of people that it was fantastic. And I said, it's not. But there's people still...
it was a wonderful approach in that play, because I watched it.
Yeah, I think I can do acting very well. And we'll see about that in the future.
And now let's come to the MC. And I watched you on stages when you were an MC on, for instance, when the Gada system was inscribed by UNESCO in 2016 in the eve of that conference, that summit. You were on the stage in the Millennium Hall in Phoenix City, and you absolutely handled it. Do you have that experience? I mean, did you have that experience before that? I mean, in different stages on Reta, I saw you on international stages like that.
I have done Master of Ceremony and event moderation for a long time, perhaps a decade now. Different in this country, in different events, and across the continent as well. Different countries, Malawi, Nigeria, South Africa, and other places as well. So you see, what you do normally helps you for this one, but this is also yet another version of you, professionally, that is.
Thank you very much indeed.
Thank you very much.
Well, my guest was Girum Chala, an international journalist who works for CGTN. He told us a lot of things, the challenges he passed through in different parts of Africa, and here within his own country, Ethiopia as well. And he planned to promote his country, his continent, to keep the continent and the country stronger than ever. A country bound together with love and unity. And I enjoyed it. I hope you had a good time with us watching this wonderful program, An Dhufu Show. Thank you for watching. Have a good time. Bye-bye.
Sagantaa